Welcome back to Ordo Mysticus. I'm Ray del Sol, and I'm grateful that you are here with me today. We have arrived at a horizon toward which all our previous conversations have been quietly pointing. This episode is not about distant prophecy, it is about the moment you are living in right now. Where is this path leading individually and collectively? We are standing at a threshold. Across the world, something old is ending. Something new is emerging, and this moment is not accidental. It is initiatory. If you look honestly at what is happening around you, you can feel it. People everywhere are questioning authority in ways they never did before. Trust in old institutions is fading. Mental and emotional strain is rising. And beneath all of this, there is a deep longing for meaning, authenticity, and inner truth. Humanity is maturing, and maturity is rarely comfortable. What we are witnessing is not simply collapse, it is reorganization. Old patterns built on fear, domination, and unconscious living can no longer sustain the growing level of awareness on this planet. A new type of human being is slowly emerging, more sensitive, more conscious, less willing to betray the inner truth for external approval. This process can feel chaotic. It can feel overwhelming, but it is also deeply intelligent. Systems collapse when they no longer correspond to reality. Political, economic, educational, and even religious structures were designed for early stages of human development. Many of them rely on a hierarchy without responsibility, control instead of trust, obedience instead of understanding. As consciousness evolves, these structures become restrictive. Collapse is not punishment. It is correction. Life dissolves what no longer supports growth. You may feel this in your own life as well. Old identities no longer fit, old ways of working exhaust you. Old relationships demand new boundaries. This is not failure, this is alignment in motion. In the teachings of Ordo Mysticus we speak of the return of the light, but this does not mean mystical spectacle. Light means awareness, clarity, truth, and responsibility. Where light increases, unconsciousness becomes visible. This is why many people experience confusion, conflict, and exposure during times like these. Light does not destroy, it reveals, and what cannot survive truth must either transform or disappear. This is the essential movement of a new age. And here is something important to remember. No age changes through masses alone. Every collective transformation begins with individual alignment. Each human being contributes through how they think, how they speak, how they act, and how they take responsibility for the inner world. You do not need to change the entire world. You need to embody coherence where you are. A single-centered human being stabilizes more than 1,000 unconscious opinions. Your presence matters, your integrity matters. The way you respond instead of react matters. In times like these, orientation becomes essential. This is why spiritual orders exist, not as relics of the past, but as structures of continuity. At their best, they preserve universal principles. They offer disciplined paths of development, they protect teachings from distortion, and they cultivate maturity rather than belief. Ordo Mysticus does not exist to escape the world, it exists to stabilize consciousness within it. Orders serve as anchors during transition. They remind us what endures when everything else feels uncertain. At the same time, a new culture of human connection is already forming. It does not dominate headlines. It grows quietly, in living rooms, in honest conversations, in conscious communities, in individuals who choose depth over speed and responsibility over blame. This emerging culture values authenticity more than image, dialogue more than polarization, cooperation more than domination, and human connection becomes less transactional and more conscious. Community becomes a place of growth rather than dependency. You may already feel drawn toward this way of relating. You may notice that superficial interactions no longer satisfy you, that you seek depth and sincerity, real presence. This is not coincidence, it is the signal of inner readiness. And here is the most important part. The golden age is not something we wait for, it is something we practice. It begins in ordinary moments, in choosing truth over comfort, in taking responsibility for your emotional state, in refining your character, in serving where you are called, in seeking understanding instead of certainty, in choosing unity over separation again and again. The future does not arrive fully formed, it emerges through daily alignment, through small, consistent acts of consciousness, through people who are willing to grow instead of complain, who are willing to look within instead of projecting outward, who understand that spiritual evolution is lived, not imagined. The dawn of a new age is not guaranteed, it is invited through awareness, through maturity, through conscious choice. Ordo Mysticus walks this path not as savers, but as servants of order, truth, and life. If you have listened to this series, then something in you already recognizes this call. The age does not begin out there, it begins within you. And if you feel moved to walk this path more deeply, I warmly invite you to become a member of Ordo Mysticus. Dedicate yourself to your own spiritual development and to serving the evolution of humanity with clarity, responsibility, and presence. Together we cultivate the consciousness that allows a new world to emerge. Love, light, and service. Always. I'm Radial Soul. Thank you for walking this path with me.